Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. Here you'll see very light makeup with some nice volume strip lashes. Stay tuned, we'll have the entire process of how to achieve this look coming up next.
Hi guys. Alright, so my name is Christine Suso and I'll be doing a makeup tutorial as everybody's quarantined inside the house. All the madness that's going on. I've been edging to do this video for a very long time, so I'm just going to dive right in. I was trying to get as prepared as the Still palette was really affordable, and these are I think this is a light to medium shade. It has a few darker shades there, but they also have another palette that has darker colors. No, that has lighter colors. So this is the light to dark, the medium to dark palette. Alright, for my brows though, let me just put up a disclaimer. I'll be using a new method that I saw, and I want to try it out to see if it actually, how it works. Obviously it works, persons have been using it. I want to see how it works for me. So, and that's the soap brow. Alright, so this has dried.
So after we have cleansed the skin, we're going in with a moisturizer. We want to ensure that we get full coverage moisture on our skin, not just for makeup purposes, but just as a routine in general. So here I'm using the Simple line again. It's a local brand, Jamaican local brand, and I'm using the moisturizer, and as you can tell, I've used quite a lot of moisturizer, or a moderate amount of moisturizer here. Then the next fundamental step before applying makeup is to use a primer. A primer will fill in your pores, mattify your face, and just make your canvas very smooth when applying any form of makeup. Here I'm using the Milani primer, and I'm using the Mary Kay brush, flat foundation brush, to apply my primer. Alright, so instead of the Graftobian foundation palette, which I would have showed you earlier, for my foundation, I actually used my Makeup Forever foundation instead of that palette. Not for any particular reason, but just because it was just easier for me to use at the time. And now I'm just going over my face, giving it as much application as I can. It's buildable. Alright, so what I did with this foundation was the second application. It's not a matte foundation. It is blendable, however, so I did a second application to just get it to the desired coverage that I required. I'm also using a Mary Kay flat brush foundation. I believe with this, a foundation brush, a Mary Kay flat foundation brush. I believe with this foundation, I find out that the flat brush actually works better with it. I will have the descriptions in the description bar below. You see me looking left, that's because I'm also looking in my mirror just to see if the makeup is applied to my desire. Normally when I apply foundation, if you realize I'm applying foundation to my lip area, and that is because I have a two-tone lip. So I want to ensure that when I use a lipstick or a lip gloss or whatever, everything is evenly distributed, and there isn't anything that's brighter than there isn't any part of my lips that's brighter than any part when I'm putting on my lipstick, unless I'm doing an ombre lipstick. But in this case, I won't be doing any ombre lips, so I am putting foundation on my lips. So after I finish my foundation and I've got it to the desired look that I want, I'm now going to highlight. I'm deciding whether I should use my LA Pro concealer. I think I went with my Graftobian palette. So I brought back my Graftobian palette and I used one of the lighter shades, a shade that's 2 shades lighter than my complexion. I think it was a shade lighter because I wasn't doing anything dramatic for my highlights. So I will have more information below in terms of what shade I actually used for my highlights from the Graftobian palette. And mind you, the Graftobian palette, I realized that it has the same consistency as my Makeup Forever. It's a cream foundation. It is blendable as well, but it doesn't give you a matte finish, but it does give you a nice coverage. Alright, so I'm setting here with my Sasha Cosmetics Buttercup powder, and you just begin to see the difference, the highlights coming into place, setting all the areas under the eyes, the bridge of the nose, the forehead, and the chin. For contouring, I'm using my Real Techniques brush, limited edition by Nick and Sam. For the powder, I'm using the Mary Kay loose powder in shade 5. And we're just going to go through and putting all the areas that needs to be contoured, from the hairline to the jaw, and just ensure that everything sits into place correctly and nicely. Alright, so we are beginning to contour the nose. So we're using one of my Real Techniques brush to contour the nose, just to get it a smaller brush to get it a little bit precise. So I just go along the edge of the nose and then I buff it out with one of my BH Cosmetic brushes. As I would have said before, I'll be trying the soapy brow method that I've seen online. It's not a method that I would practice or I would do again. I think that it's for persons with thick brows, and my brow isn't as thick as it used to be, so I ended up shading in my brow at the end. But it's okay. As I said, it didn't work for me. I use the transparent pear soap. I would wet the spoolie and just rub it in the soap to get it to get the soap on the spoolie, and just brush in an upward motion, because the point of this method is to keep the brows
to keep the brows up. That's the whole point of this method. Once the soap is in the brows, then the brows become stiff and they'll stay up. Once again, I don't have thick brows, so I went in and I filled in my brows with brow powder. So I went over my brows like 3 times with the soapy brow method, just to ensure that the brows stick and stay in place. So after I've got it to the desired look that I want, I went in with the brow powder to brighten my brows and to give it a little bit more definition. Sorry for blocking out my eye, but it was hard for me to use the phone to fill in my brows, so I had to use the mirror from my brow palette. So that's all I'm doing here. I'm just filling in my brows. Once I've got it to the desired look, I shape it up and have it looking clean. And if you realize what I've done, I have when I'm filling in my brows, I do everything in an upward motion, because that is how my brows would have ended up with the soapy brow method. So I'm just filling in the sparse areas in my brows. All right, so here I'm using the LA Girl eyeshadow base, the stick eyeshadow base. Just putting that over my eye just to get my eye primed for my eyeshadow. So I did that twice just to get enough on my eyes to ensure that the eyeshadow is bright enough and it stays in place. All right, so I actually didn't show what I used to do my eyeshadow. So after I place the primer on the eyes, I actually use the same powder that I used to contour my face. That's the Mary Kay number 5. I use that in the crease of my eyes just to create depth, and just a small, just to, as I said, I'm doing a very, very light smoky eye, so it's not a big smoky eye kind of thing going on, very light smoky eye. And then I'm using my Juvia's palette to place, I'm using the Juvia's palette and I'm putting that on my eyelids. Forgot what that color is, but I'll put information below. I'm using the BH Cosmetic fluffy brush to pat that into place. I shaked off or dust off excess of the brush just because the brush tends to hold product a whole lot. So that's the Juvia's Place. I think it's the Warrior 2 palette that I'm using. As I said, I'll put that information below, and I'm also putting it above my eyebrow, beneath my eyebrows, and you just start to see the definition, you know, very subtle eye makeup going on there. All right, so here I've used
the bronzer. I used a gold bronzer, very nice gold bronzer. I don't remember what brand bronzer it was, but I put it on and I loved it. That gold is just fabulous. Can you tell? I'm just loving that gold right there. So I just use that to just highlight, just to create some color on my eyes. And as I said, the colors are still earth tone, neutral, nice warm colors, very nice and subtle. I'm just loving the eyes right now. So for persons who don't like a lot of makeup, I get that a whole lot, this is just a nice combination here. All right, so now I would usually go under my eyes with a black eyeliner, but I decided not to do it because black can tend to be a little bit hard. So I'm just using my brow powder, which is dark brown, to line my eyes and just to make it a little bit smoky. I will put it in the corner of my eyes as well, just to create some more depth and just make the smoky pop. It's not a big, as I said before, it's not a very big smoky eye that I'm doing, just very nice warm smoky eye with neutral colors, warm colors, golden colors, and I'm loving it. All right, so we just went back under the eyes just to brighten the brown a little bit and ensure that everything is in place and looking like a queen. All right, so very impromptu. I decided to use a white eyeliner under the eyelids, the waterline, just to widen the eyes to give it a fuller look. As I said, it was very impromptu, nothing planned, but I saw the white eyeliner and thought it was a good idea to just widen my eyes a little bit. I have very small eyes. Then I'm going to add blush just to give my face a little color. I'm using the Black Radiance. I believe it is Warm Berry. Tried to focus it, but it didn't work. But yes, it's a Black Radiance Warm Berry. 8305 is the number, and this is very pigmented. I add a little to the brush, and I will, use it on the face. Just give it on the cheek area, just to give my face a little bit more, color, and just to look a little bit more rosy on the cheek area. And as you can see, I'm putting it on in a circular motion because the product is very, very pigmented and you don't want to get too much in one space. So I start at the cheekbones and then I just slowly move up the jawline. I'm going to be using my retractable Black Radiance eyeliner to do my top lids. I'm lightly lining my top lids, but I'm making it look bold enough so it's very obvious that I do have on an eyeliner. Once I start to put on my lashes, it will just fall into place. That I will do for both eyes, obviously. Alright, so we are on the final touches.
we are going to buff and blend everything in place. We're using a soft, big, fluffy brush to blend everything in place. And to set everything, I'm using a translucent powder. And I believe it's my Mary Kay translucent powder.
Alright, so here we are getting ready to put the lashes on. I'm using my brand of lashes from Beauty and Beyond. I'll have the information on where that's available later on in this video, or I'll just put the information in the description bar below. I'm using my handheld fan to have the glue tacky, or to let the glue get tacky on the lashes so it's easy to pop on. I'll also do a separate tutorial on how to apply strip lashes. Alright, so I'm just carefully applying it with a tweezer. The glue is tacky and we are putting that on. Now these lashes are a little bit long for me, but for the tutorial I think it gives it a whole lot of life. Alright, so I'm using the mascara to blend my lashes and the lashes together. Then I am using the mascara to put on my bottom lashes to give a little fullness and a little color. I am now using my lip liner, I believe it's in cinnamon, to line my lips. It's very light, you hardly will see it, but you will see a little color going on. All right, then I'm using my nude lip color from Anastasia of Beverly Hills lip palette. I will put a little gloss over it to give it a little bit of glow. Now don't mind the white in the lashes, that will dry and you won't see it after a while. All right, so now I'm adding the lip gloss to the lips to give it a little shine and a little fullness, and you see the difference coming together. I added, just because I wanted to, a little highlighter on the lips to give a little goldish color, not much. I just pat it on a little bit, and this is the finished product. Thank you guys for watching. All right, so we've come to the end of my very first video. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, tell a friend, and give me a thumbs up.